home real estate agent, brokered by eXp Realty, and owner of the Empire Realty Group.
And we are Sisters in Real Estate.
Hey, you guys. Welcome back to another episode of Sisters in Real Estate.
For real. Hey, everybody.
As you guys can see, we have a special guest. But before we introduce him, my name is LaShonda, the Realtor.
I'm Nikita Jacobs, your home and loan girl. And like we just said, we're the Sisters in Real Estate. Okay?
Yes.
And I am so proud of us.
What an amazing time to be in front of Mr. Jack Hune. I am so excited to hear what he's going to share with us.
Well, ladies, thank you for having me. I appreciate you guys. And my name's Jack Hune. I'm with Bloomfield Homes, and we're out of Crowley, Texas.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Awesome.
So happy to have you, Jack. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this with us. And we look forward to hearing all these wonderful tidbits that we're going to learn. So
absolutely. We got to share some good knowledge about what's going on in new construction. So people are well aware of all the great incentives Bloomfield has going on. But before we hop into all that good stuff, we do want to give some market stats, and your home and loan girl is going to take over. And
I am taking over. Listen, first, before we get into that, I want to say I am so proud of us. Like, we are hanging in there, doing our thing with Sisters in Real Estate. Let's go. This is what it's all about. So I'm pumped up. But on another note, y'all, we did get some good news. What was it? I think it was like in February. We're just now kind of covering it. But it was in February where FHA decided to reduce the annual mortgage premium, insurance premium. So what that means is they took it down, reduced it 30 basis points. So I think like whenever it helps your mortgage payment. So like usually with FHA, you have mortgage insurance premium, right? Which adds to your mortgage payment. They reduce the amount that they charge for that. So that means less payment amount, more qualification on your DTI. Is not going to be so tight. And DTI stands for debt to income. So I'm excited. That was a really good change, really good update. I know a lot of us, there was some controversy. It's like, well, it's about time. That's what a lot of people were like, listen, it's about time, because we do need some reprieve on that. And so that was, I think, a step in the right direction, so I'm hoping that eventually, it'll come down more, or who knows what might happen next, but that will allow some more homeowners to qualify. And we're in the business to get people in homes. So they announced this, and I think everybody was super, super excited that they did do this. And it's supposed to be effective, I believe, this month. So a lot of lenders are already acknowledging it, making the changes in the update according to their system, so it shouldn't be any issues. So if you are in the market to buy, that's a great opportunity. If that was something that was stopping you, was maybe your mortgage payment, reach back out. Let's see if it might have reduced it a significant amount for you. 30 basis points is quite a bit. So it is quite a bit of savings over time. So it could actually help, if that was something that you were tight on that DTI, just barely over it, it could definitely probably help you out at this point.
That's some good stuff. And for those of us who don't know, or don't understand what that means, what is mortgage insurance premium? What is that?
So the mortgage insurance is supposed to protect the lender in the event that the borrower defaults on the loan. So FHA has these, I want to say, laxed or flexible requirements when it comes to being approved for a home loan. And so with that, it's basically like a compensating factor. So that means, okay, we need to protect ourselves and protect the lenders just in case you default, because you can qualify for a little less on your credit score. Credit scores, I think FHA they actually can go down as low as 500 credit score. However, lenders don't go down that low sometimes. So lenders usually try to stay at 580, whereas if you try to get a conventional, it's 620 and above, right? So they're a little bit more flexible, and that's kind of how they operate. So that's it's supposed to protect it's an insurance, basically.
Awesome. Awesome. So
that's great news.
Yeah. So
that was really good.
So I would say definitely reach out to Nikita, if you have questions, a little more questions about that process and what
Yes.
that looks like, because she's going to be the go-to person, the expert who will be able to kind of break it down to you based on your specific profile. So without getting into the weeds, that right there is really good news and could get you to that qualifying price point in order for you to qualify for the home that you want. And it could be a Bloomfield house over in Crowley. So we don't want to hold Jack hostage too long, so we'll go ahead and hop and let him introduce himself, who he's with, what he does, what they have to offer over at Bloomfield. So here's Jack.
Yay! I'm so excited. Okay.
All right. Thank you, guys. So basically, you know, I'm in the community with Bloomfield at in Crowley. So right now we're doing a promotion. I've been doing this for like over 15 years already, just FYI. Right in this community right now, we have over about 8 homes that we can move in inventory anywhere from now all the way up to August. We're continuing to build more inventory homes. But if you do a build job, we do that too. As far as incentives for the inventory goes, we have anywhere from probably $40,000 to $60,000 on it.
Wow.
And that each buyer, if they buy the inventory homes, we have a luxury move-in package that's worth over $6,000. And then sometimes we do certain other incentive for closing costs, depending on what the buyer really needs.
Right.
That's how we're gonna, you know, put the deal together so that it benefits both the buyer. And then as long as, you know, I can make it happen, I will make it happen.
So that the incentives of between 40 and 60, it varies because it depends on your individual need as the buyer. Like if you need help with closing costs, or you need help with wanting to upgrade your home and you know you want to use money toward that. But that's only on your inventory homes, or is that also on a build job?
Mm-hmm. On the inventory homes, the price reduction I normally send out with my inventory list, it all has the price reduction slashed.
Okay.
Each home has different margins to be specific.
Okay.
So depending on the margin of the home, you know, obviously all the cost that's involved in it. And if we can lower that margin to make the deal happen, we will.
So if the house is already built, whatever incentive you have can only be used toward maybe the financing part, but not necessarily like building the house because it's already done. So if you need help with the financing or like getting the house price maybe a smidget down, that's an opportunity. Is that what you're saying?
Right. So if the buyers are doing a build job, I typically give the buyer anywhere from 40 to 60K so that they can use. Part of that will go towards the upgrades, which Bloomfield don't have that much that you need to do upgrades. Lots of standard features that's already included. Then, you know, part of that money can be used towards closing costs and or a little price reduction to bring the price down should the buyer need that. So that's the build job process. And if they were to select an inventories will always be a better deal if we have the inventory. So they'll get more than that, but definitely a move-in package, closing costs, or rate buy-down specials, depending on the time and the home. Awesome. That we're going to promoting that. Just check with me every single time, different buyers, different home, different time frame.
And now you're in the Hunters Ridge community, right?
That is correct. In Crowley.
Okay. And that's right there off of Crowley Road by the middle school, right? HF Stevens?
Yep, that is right. Okay. We're only minutes away from I-35 and just one straight shot to Arlington through 1187. And then we're down the street from Burleson and Fort Worth. Very easy to get back and forth to. What's
your price point in that area? Like, what are the ranges?
Yeah, we start in the 350s to the 500s.
Okay.
And anywhere from 1,600 square feet to like 4,600 square feet.
Okay.
And we do have 3-car garages. In this community, a lot of communities now, they're building 40-foot wide by 110 or like 50-foot wide by 120. But in this community, we'll do 60-foot wide by 120. So all my lots are pretty big, 7,200 square feet and up. And so the homes are not stacked upon one another.
Right.
We'll have like at least 15 feet in between homes.
Right. That's really good. I've actually been over there. That's really, really good.
Yep.
And what other what is the community going to have? Like once it's like mature and developed, what are you guys planning or hoping to have as far as amenities?
Yes. Right now, we're building in the first phase. Amenities going to be in the second phase. We're clearing that second phase right now. We are selling pretty fast, at least 6 to 8 homes a month. And so we're clearing the other second phase. That's where we're going to have the pool, walking trail, playground. So right now, I don't have all the renderings, but it's going to come. People are still bidding out the project for
Yeah.
the second phase amenity center.
Right.
It's going to be a really, really beautiful community. We got 6 different phases with lots of trees.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
That's awesome.
That area is a growing, like it is growing
Yes.
significantly out there and really fast. So one thing I always tell buyers, whenever you are looking to go and move, and especially if you're moving in a new development, like you want to see around, there's potential for growth over there. So don't just look for what it looks like today.
Right.
You know, I know that, you know, we like to have everything all built and fancy, but they kind of got to get the houses in there for the property taxes. So that way they can afford to start building and making some changes to the roads and such. So it's definitely an area that's coming up, and
for sure.
and it's a great area to buy in because I can definitely see values increasing over there.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. Sorry to bug. They just built a sports complex that
Yes.
houses all the sports. I mean, there's a lot of, just like what Nikita just said, there's a lot of development, and Crowley's going to get really expensive really fast.
Oh yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. I was just going to ask you, just so we have it on recording, like currently at the moment, what's the tax rate in Crowley?
2.79.
2.79. I can easily see that going up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
With everything that's coming on. And then the HOA, I assume there's HOA, of course. What's the
$500 a year.
How much?
$500 a year. It's about $43 a month.
Okay. Okay. That's not bad. That's not bad.
It's really good. I live in a community that charges me $660 and I'm not getting anything.
but a nice brick wall that says the community name.
Yeah.
That right there, I never understood that. When I see something like that and there's HOA, like I get the HOA and what its purpose is. A lot of people, you know, they are like, I don't want HOA. And I'm like, are you planning to park like thousands of cars there? Are you planning on, you know, bringing your tractor trailer or, you know, whatever, your truck there? Are you planning on painting your house pink, yellow, or lime green? If all of those are no, then you should not have an issue with HOA. They're gonna make sure that your property value is it either grows or maintains. Like there's no reason, if you don't plan on doing any of those things, that you shouldn't want HOA other than having to pay. But I mean, it's the price you pay to live in a very well kept community, in my opinion.
Honestly, I as much as I don't want to say this, I do like the fact that I have HOA. Even if they do get on to me about stuff, it's like, okay, I know it's stuff that I need to do. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, you do want to maintain the area. You do want to maintain your value, and you do want to do that for your own stuff in your own yard too. You know, like they do, you know, they make sure the yards are kept up, you know, nicely. You know, can have a lot of, you know, all types of things. But that's on a whole nother tangent though. Let's go back and let's get back to Jack, okay?
Yes.
So tell us the process, your process. When if I'm as a realtor, if I bring my buyer to you and they want to tour your homes and then they love it and they decide they want to buy an inventory home or build a home, what does that process look like?
Yes. The first thing that the buyer has to do is to do a pre-qualification. Once the pre-qualification is complete, then we take the $5,000 earnest money deposit. Each build is going to be a little bit different depending on the product line and pricing, things like that. Some I've seen 500 all the way up to like 10,000, 1%, that sort of stuff. At Bloomfield, it's going to be 4,000 to 5,000 depending on the price. And then we go to contract. That if it's inventory, then we have a certain date that the buy is going to be closing on. If it's a build job, then we guesstimate the build time for 7 to 9 months right now.
Okay.
So let's say if they were to, about to go to once they finish signing the contract, everything goes in motion. The lending side's going to have to get done. And then once the home's complete, the lendings are completed, then we go to the closing. In the meantime, what we do is that we're going to set up the buy walk, which is the homeowner's orientation. It normally happens a week before they go to closing. And then we have a final walk a day before they go to closing, just to check on those items that was missed. And then, they go to closing, sign, and then we give them the keys, invite us over for a party, and happy homeowners.
Yeah. So for an inventory home, go ahead.
Okay, so just to back up a little bit on the build job, the 7 to 9 months.
Yes.
So they have the ability to kind of select the plan or the floor plan, right, that they want, and then go into, is there a design center, or is it just strictly this is what you're going to get? How does the process go? Do they get assigned somebody to reach out, or do you walk them through that, Jag?
Yep. So basically, once they finish signing the contract, what we do is we have 2 design appointments. One is the structural. So they'll be able to pick the floor plan that they want. And then we pick the structural. At Bloomfield, we're probably one of the last field builders that the buyer is able to do selections. And we have many selections. And lots of builders are going into what you see is what you get right now. But, with Bloomfield, you'll have a chance to customize to a certain amount exactly what your home looks like, from the colors of the wall to the, flooring options, to the tiles, and to the backsplash. So you'll have all those options at my model home. So I have a designer that works for me. So once the buyer finishes the contract and they select the structural options with me, then they go set up an appointment to do the design options. And the design option normally lasts about 3 to 4 hours. And some folks might think it's really tough, but with our help, we make it very simple for everybody.
Yeah, it's like design galore in there. I've been to a design appointment with Bloomfield and a client, and it's just like playing referee sometimes, because it's like, I want this and this, and I have to kind of like, well, look, okay, this is how much money you have to spend, on upgrades, don't go crazy and don't speak, you have plenty to do. And a lot of it is spent on flooring. Like, they get so caught up in all the beautiful options you guys have for flooring that they're just like, oh my God, I want real wood. And then I'm like, okay, are you sure? We're in Texas, So just trying to talk them down. But I agree. Like, you guys have so many selections to choose from when it comes to upgrades. I get a little overwhelmed myself.
And the thing with Bloomfield is that we replenish those options all the time. It's not like dated, all the stuff that we have years ago. No, each year Bloomfield tends to replenish the options and even the floor plans and even the facade. One of the things that Bloomfield's known for is the beautiful facade that we have. Come check it out. If you guys ever in the area, come check out the facade on our homes. It's beautiful. It's semi-custom, and it looks nothing like the comparable home down the street.
Yeah. And so if somebody comes in and they contract on the house and they start the process, whether it's an inventory home, meaning a house that's done, that's ready to close in 30, 45 days or whatever, or they want to build from scratch and choose their own selections, and take that 6 to 7 months, that they're secure. Nobody else can come and get that house, right? As long as they do their part and they get approved for financing and everything's moving along.
Yep.
That's their house once the house is done, right?
Yeah. No, once they sign on the dotted line, we got all the, earnest money deposit and pre-qualification letter. That home is theirs. Nobody can touch it. No, I can't do anything about it until they actually cancel.
Okay.
Prices won't move up or down on them. Everything they sign is the price. If it's, 10 months from now when they close, it's the same price.
Good, good.
No.
That's good to know.
One thing I missed, I want to give you guys the process of that 7 to 9 months, what it looks like once the buyer signs the contract, right?
Okay.
So once the buyer signs the contract, they come back, they do all the design appointment, things like that, right before the 2 months hits. So that in between the signing of the contract and 2 months later, that's when we're going to get permit. So in the background, our office is submitting all the paperwork to get the permit ready. So within 2 months, we should get permit, and then we should start the home. Once we get the permit, we're going to invite the buyers to come back in, sit down with our construction manager to do a red line. What that means is that checking to make sure that everything they selected is on the home, and then our construction manager will give them the details into what it looks like, setting all the proper expectations and answer any questions that they may have. So once that's done, then he starts the construction of the home.
The building of the home. So when you say semi-custom, are you saying that if the floor plan says you can have a 5th bedroom or a study, then that's what they get to choose?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. There will be at times that, there's some things that you might not be able to do, but if we think that we can do it for the buyer, we will. That's going to be few and far in between.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. I love that option.
Yeah, and that's really because you guys have already kind of got the approval for these particular items that can be placed, right? And then also wherever the lots are, is like wherever the elevations and how they kind of flow within the house, like where the side the garage is going to be on, and those types of things. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's awesome. I love it. That's exciting. Honestly, if you're a buyer, like that's so exciting to go through that whole process.
Yeah.
I always tell people, like, document this process because it's especially if it's your first time home, buying a home. That's why it's important, one, for you to have your realtor ready and on deck. So that way they can kind of help navigate the conversations as well with Jack, be a part of that process with you and help guide you as well. So to have both of those partners available is super important. You know what I mean? Because, you want to make sure that the client is happy. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, if the client isn't happy, how do y'all handle customer service, Jack? I think that's very important, especially how do you set yourself apart from the other builders? Because a lot of times customer service, we heard, was not with Bloomfields, but with builders alone sometimes is not very good. How is Bloomfield when it comes to customer service?
That is a great question. I love that question because it's all going to have to be dealt with by experience. The more experience you have, the easy is that you're going to be able to make the process for the buyer and customer service. So if you have that experience, you'll be able to set all the proper expectations. That way, everything set up front is much better than, just you deal with the problem as it comes, right? So if you set the proper expectations up front, the buyer will know what to expect. Let's say, for example, when's the home's going to be completed, right? So I'm going to let the buyer know it's going to be 7 to 9 months, give them the process, they understand what the process looks like. And then I also let them know that each week we're going to give you an update on the home. And we have an app that the buyer can log in and they'll be able to see all the pictures because I put all those pictures on there weekly so they see the progress. And if the date moves, each week we'll alert the buyer and let them know. So everybody knows and understands the process up front. Right. So that way we can eliminate any issues that, customer service wise, that sort of stuff. That's really good.
Yeah. And I love that. And going to your point that that piece of being upfront and just communicating everything in the beginning, that's what I feel a key important piece to making sure that you have a realtor with you, even when you go to new construction, because your realtor can contact Jack, and our relationship, I can call Jack, hey, Jack, I have a client that's looking for a 4 2.5 bath, doesn't matter if it's a flat or a 2-story. They want an extra dining room, they want a big kitchen island and, all this good stuff. I can tell Jack this stuff before my client gets there. And then when my client gets there, he'll already know, oh, hey, Nikita, your realtor, LaShonda, called me and told me this is what you're looking for. Here's what I have available. Would you like to see it? That way you're in your appointment with Jack, one-on-one. You're not like just feeling like, oh, nobody's talking to me. I don't know what I'm doing. And Jack takes you around either to the inventory home or shows you the floor plans that will work for what you're saying that you want. And he's able to give you all those details up front so that you can make an educated decision on in the beginning when you're deciding to buy a house. So I love that, Jack.
It's it comes down to the person that you're going to be working with, and how what's their experience like to be able to help the buyer through the process with very little issues. The thing at Bloomfield, once the buyer love our home, they're going to continue to love our home and love the process, because we're not going to make the buyer close if there's issues outstanding. And it's not like, hey, this is the 30th of March, you have to close or we're going to cancel you. No, it doesn't happen to us like that. It's not fiscal year end. It's not quarter end. As long as the buyers are happy, we're going to close them. If they're not, we're going to try to fix the issue. And if we can't fix the issue and the buyer wants their money back, we'll give the buyer their money back, and then we can move on. And everybody's going to still be happy.
That's good.
And that's what I love. I mean, honestly, that's important when you are taking your clients around to see new builders. You want to take them around to the ones that are going to really take care of them, not the ones that just want to sell, or sell something to them and not really treat them right in the process, It's very important for them to be treated. This is their money. This is like a big commitment for them. And so the process you want to make sure is, it may be a little turbulent at some point, but customer service should still be great. You know what I mean? And so
that is right.
So I appreciate that for sure, Jack. I appreciate you coming on here and you sharing this information. This was really good. Just knowing the process once they go into the build process, or if they have like a spec home, inventory home that they're going into. So this was good. Thank you for sharing it.
It was really good. Thank you so much, Jack, for coming on. I really appreciate it. And I can't wait to bring somebody to meet you, because just like you are now, like they don't see it all, but like you're a burst of energy and very personable, and I love it. I love it, love it.
Yeah. No, you guys have an effect on me this morning for sure. And I'm like, wow. I'm on.
Yes, we have a good time, and that's important too, because that affects the clients as well. So I want them to see the excitement on all of our faces, so that way they'll know, like, this is where you should be, So thank you, Jack. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm gonna go ahead and let you go about your day as we finish up our podcast, and hey, we'll be in touch with you.
Okay. Thank you for having me, ladies.
No problem. Thank you.
You guys have a good day. Okay.
You too.
You too. So that was awesome. That was really awesome. Like, we got to hear it from the horse's mouth.
Come on. Like, that's what we bring in. We're bringing these things to you because you don't know this process, this side. And when you go into a new build, it can be very overwhelming. You know what I mean? And so to have the experts on your side to make sure and help you navigate some of the conversation, because some of it is going to sound foreign. And you're not going to understand what is going on, And so, as we continue to go and do these things, we have a better idea on what to do, and we have great partnerships, and we want to make sure you have great experiences. So, Bloomfields is a really good builder. They have great products that they offer, quality products, not things that just kind of thrown together and you're going to be like, what, And so, if you have anything about that, for sure. So thank you.
I love Bloomfield. Bloomfield is like one of my top builders that I would love to build with one day.
Really?
Because of their product. Their product is really good. Now you have, I've heard things about Bloomfield, but just know that each community is different. Each community has a managing builder, a different managing builder. The same person does not build every Bloomfield house. So they have what they call a builder that builds for the builder, which really is just like a construction manager, if you will. and that's who manages like that community alone. Most of the time, builders don't have the same individual managing multiple communities unless they're like short staffed or, you know, somebody's out or something like that. So they all have, you know, different construction managers that are making sure these houses are being built with great structural integrity. But one thing I did want to say was, you know, it's International Women's Month, and we haven't even recognized that. Like, happy International Women's Month, ladies.
Come on. Yes. Listen.
We do a lot.
Shout out to the women that paved the way for us, y'all. We wouldn't be able to do the things that we love without the ones standing up for us.
That's right.
You know, before us, they stood up for themselves, and in turn, they stood up for us. And so that's that's a favorite quote of mine, also from Maya Angelou. And I love it because it's the truth. Like, that's where the camaraderie come from. That's where the sisterhood come from, because there was a time where we didn't have that voice. You know what I mean? And so now we have, even as one, we didn't have a voice as women, but we surely didn't have a voice as a Black woman. You know what I mean? So on top of that, let's just say it, you know, for what it is.
Yep.
But definitely happy International Women's Month. Yes.
Because we're doing it all. Entrepreneur, mom, wife, friend, confidant, counselor. Like, I mean, it just never ends. It never ends. And that's a good way to kind of go into the whole mental health situation.
Yes.
We as women, we take on a lot, and we stack on a lot of hats, and sometimes it's just like we just keep going and going and going. And it's not until we reach a breaking point or a heightened level of frustration or you know, a place where we're just mentally bogged down. And a lot of people think, you know, because a lot of women do like desk jobs, and a lot of people say, oh, well, you're sitting down all day and da 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 da. But what people don't know is mental exhaustion is a real thing.
Yes.
I could be sitting behind my desk all day, but I've had conference calls, I've had emails, I've had fires I've had to put out, you know, figuratively speaking, you know, as far as clients are concerned. Sometimes I have, you know, to think about ways to, you know, best ways to help my clients win, things my kids got going on the calendar, you know, if they're sick or whatever. And it's just like, if I have all this stuff going on, and then I gotta, you know, come home, make sure I'm taking care of, you know, the house and everybody in it, that's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. And it can really drain a person. So just make sure that you're taking care of yourself mentally, physically, spiritually as a woman, and don't feel bad for taking time off or saying no to something, whether somebody asking you for help, for money, for, you know, taking on another task at work. If it's too much, speak up and say it's too much. If your plate is full, speak up and say your plate is full, and you know, do it from a good space, you know, like, you know, don't do it maliciously to intentionally hurt somebody. But if you got to be selfless sometimes, and there's nothing wrong with that, in my opinion.
No, I think that we all need to hear that as women, because we will pile on things and we will continue to do those things, and we don't say anything, you know. One, because, you know, we've been taught to be strong, to keep pushing, you know, to not show those, you know, things. And so at some point we have to kind of dethrone, you know, those types of things that we've been taught, you know, those types of feelings, or making sure that we know that it's okay. It's okay not to be okay. It's okay to kind of scale back. It's okay to kind of, hey, stop for a second and just, you know, no, I'm not doing it. I'm tired. Express yourself. Okay.
That's right. I know I do. And it took me a while to get here, but I used to be that person that would say yes, even though I knew that I shouldn't, or that it was too much, or that, you know, it was going to ask a lot of me. I would still say yes, just to please that person. And, you know, it would take even more from me. Like, I'm already almost at my wit's end, and then it would just suck a little bit more out of me. But I'm just like, okay, I just want to make sure this person doesn't get mad at me, or stops talking to me, or doesn't, you know, help me if I need help in the future. Like, but I'm just like, no, whatever. Like, if my answer is no, my answer is no, and it is what it is. God gonna take care of me if it's really a situation. You know what I'm saying? So
And that's exactly how step into your power. You know what I mean? That's exactly what it is, when it comes to it. But listen, if you are struggling, with any type of depression or anything like that, like there are people out there that can help. One place that I know for sure, and I'm gonna call it out, is called Intimate Altar Wellness.
Mhm.
If you need therapy, go to therapy. Do not be afraid to go to therapy. I've been to therapy. It's important. You need that release. Even if you're talking it through, whatever it is that you're doing, whatever resources and things that they can give you to help equip you for whatever it is that you're going through, so you don't have to keep repeating those things. What's important?
Right.
One of the things we don't talk about too is, and this is going real deep into some of the mental health, but suicide, and that's because nobody, and don't get me wrong, like sometimes you just don't know because they look happy, everybody looks good, nothing looks like anything is wrong, but there's an internal thing going on that you don't know about and they won't share. And that's not anybody's fault. But I
Yeah.
want to encourage people, to make sure that we're being a little bit more gracious, you know what I mean? In
Mhm.
our approaches, make sure that everything should be done out of the spirit of love anyway. Don't get me wrong, people will get you there, but
Yeah.
most importantly, you want to step back because everybody is going through something. And when I tell you everybody is going through something, everybody is going through something. I don't care how big or small it is. Something may seem small to you, but be big to another person. So
Mhm.
don't negate the fact, or don't just dismiss them because you feel like I'm going through stuff way worse than them. You don't
Right.
know how that's impacting them. And
Right. Your tolerance. Yeah.
you cannot gauge another person's mental health on the things that they're going through, So I encourage you to get that help. I encourage you to step into your power. I encourage you to get better if you need to. I encourage you to step back, like you said. And if you need a massage or if you need to go somewhere and just have a moment to breathe for yourself, do that,
Got it.
and don't care about what anybody else have to say. Nobody's opinions matter. None of that matters. What matters is what you feel about you.
Yeah. You got to take care of
Got
yourself.
to take care of yourself. So this was a really good episode. Like y'all don't miss these episodes, okay? We be coming with it. We really do be coming with it,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
So I
We have
mean,
another special guest coming on.
yes,
And I
definitely.
can't wait for them to get on because I think a lot of us definitely need, help with budgeting and preparing for home ownership or just preparing for life. Like if you're in a whole new level, whether it's mentally, physically, financially, like you need to know how to make sure that your way of living is structurally sound. So
Right, right.
I can't wait to have our budget expert on to be able to drop some nuggets and help y'all figure out a
This
system.
tea, because we need it. We need to go ahead and sip it, okay?
Yep.
Whatever this tea that's about to get dropped, I need to sip it.
So I hope this encouraged. I hope this gave you some information to help you get started on your journey, whether it's buying, selling, or if it's just to help you figure out how to navigate life. Like today, we just touched on a little bit of mental health. There are definitely avenues, there are resources out there to help you. We always want to make sure that we are empowering each other
Embracing your true self.
and evolve on your journey. We love y'all.
We love y'all so much. Thank you so much.